Welcome to Goody Goody Gumdrops. I am Molly, and today I'm going to be making creepy coffin cakes. Mwahaha! It is Halloween time, and there is nothing better to satisfy the palates of the undead than a nice, delicious bite of the coffins. So, to make this recipe, what you're going to need is devil's food cake. I'm going to use a pre-packaged cake mix. You will also need raspberry filling. I'm also going to use a pre-made cake filling. You're going to need mini loaf pans, and you're going to need butter, powdered sugar, and a little bit of milk for the frosting, and some black food coloring. So to start this out, I'm going to prepare this cake mix according to the package directions, and I'm going to bake them in the oven accordingly, following the guidelines for cupcakes, and I'm probably going to add a couple minutes because these are a little bit larger than a regular cupcake. So I will be back in just a second when I've mixed up this delicious devil's food cake. Mwahaha! Now that I've mixed up my devil's food cake, I'm going to put it into these mini cake loaf pans and bake them. And look at how light and fluffy and beautiful this looks. It's almost sinful. Mwahaha! I'm bad at doing, I guess, like an evil laugh. So fill these about 2/3 of the way full. You don't want them overfilled. They will rise up way too high and come over the top. So I will be back to show you how to embellish these delicious cakes and turn them into little coffins when they come out of the oven. Now that the cakes are done baking, I'm going to make some buttercream frosting. So first I'm going to add about a stick of butter. This is 1 tablespoon shy of a stick. And to that I'm going to add some powdered sugar and mix it up. And if you've never seen me make buttercream before, then this is new to you. But if you have, then you already know like the process. I mix in a small amount of sugar and then a small amount of milk or cream. Today I'm going to be using cream, and then continue to mix in more sugar until it's the consistency of frosting. Frosting mixed up, so what I'm going to do is take some and reserve it off to the side, and I'm going to use it to decorate. And with the rest of it to this, I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder and about 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to mix that in, and then next I will be adding the food coloring. I almost forgot about that. And then cutting up the cakes. I've added the black gel food coloring, and I use chocolate frosting instead of just all white frosting, not only for flavor, but if you try to dye white to black, it is going to take a lot of dye. So I'm going to continue to add the dye until I get the darkness that I want. I have 12 cakes here, and what I'm going to do next is slice them, and I'm going to cut the tops off, and then I'm going to slice them into 3 layers. And then I'm also going to shape them into coffins. To do this, I am using a bread knife. Any serrated knife should work. Okay, so I've cut the top off, and now I'm going to make it look like a coffin. Now that these are all cut up, I'm going to put the raspberry filling in the center. I only cut them in half because these are so light and fluffy. And I saved all of the extra, which is a lot. And I'm going to use these to make some cake pops in just a minute. So just take your raspberry, or if you prefer, you could use strawberry or cherry. Just make sure that it's red. So what I've done is flip the cake upside down because I cut the top off. So it's really crummy, so the bottom is still nice and smooth. I'm going to take a small amount of frosting and only put it on the top so you'll easily be able to pick these up and eat them. Just smooth a small amount of the buttercream on the top for the nice black look, and then using my piping bag and a very tiny tip, I believe it's the number 14, I'm going to just pipe the word RIP on there, rest in peace, and a nice outline to give it some definition. And I will be back in just a minute to show you how to make some jack-o'-lantern cake pops. Now that the coffin cakes are done, I'm going to make some cake pops. So what I've done is taken the remainder of the raspberry filling. You can also use raspberry jam or any other kind of red cherry, and obviously the white frosting, and I'm going to mix it all together. And then I'm going to crumble up my cake into tiny pieces and mix the frosting into it, mold it into little balls, and pop them in the freezer. So I will be back in just a second. This is what the cake mixed with the frosting looks like. So just take a small amount, put it into a ball shape, put it on a plate lined with wax paper, and put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. What I have here is some melted candy chocolate that's orange. So what I'm going to do with my cake balls is take a green toothpick with a stem, stick it in to a cake ball, dip it into the chocolate, make sure it gets nice and coated, and then put it onto my candy tray to cool. And I will be back to show you how to draw on the face. So now that this has cooled in the freezer, it only took about 2 to 5 minutes. I have some of the black buttercream from before that I set aside, so I'm just going to pipe on a little face. Whoa!
Not like that though. It came shooting out of there.
This is a little cute finished pumpkin, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and come back for more goodies. It's really good. Happy Halloween! Bye!